What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Formula One True North, the Canadian Formula One podcast. Back here live with the boys, we've got Drew.
Hey-o.
We've got Ed.
Yay.
And here we've got somebody's creepy uncle, also known as Thomas, the Lavender Lithuanian today. Is that what we're going to call you?
No.
It's more mauve.
Mauve, yeah.
Mauve than
That's all
lavender.
it is. It's fucking purple, dude.
Yeah, but I need something to start with an L. Anyways, we are here. We had an off week. No racing last weekend, but lots of big news. I feel like it's the news that everyone knew about.
Yeah.
Kind of the worst kept secret right now in F1. But Adrian Newey finally officially signing with Aston Martin. Been a roller coaster from the beginning of the year, and I don't think it's one of those things where you talk about how the year started, where Lewis was going to Ferrari and there was these rumors, and you're like, nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's Mercedes for life. I feel like the whole Adrian Newey saga kind of started off that way, and then obviously he left, and then it was kind of in purgatory where he was going to end up. And Aston Martin, with that Stroll money, pulling him in. Drew, opening thoughts. What do you think about this? What do you think brought him there as well?
Everybody's loyal until the money comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you pay me enough. And
Money talks, man.
That's it. That's
Money
a wrap.
talks.
I think Adrian, looking back, and that's what I think he was looking for. I think Mercedes and Ferrari and these other teams that wanted to get him McLaren, I think they have too much recent success. I think he wanted, to take somebody who's struggling like Aston Martin and really bring him to the forefront. I don't think it's a next year solution. I definitely think it's a 2026 solution. I don't think anyone can make that big of a swing that fast, but I think that if anyone can do it, it's Adrian. But I think, Aston Martin, I'm pretty sure they're being outscored by 2026. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so they are definitely not behind Haas in the points.
No, I think in the last 5 races.
No, like in terms of where they were finishing and
You're talking about more recent kind of performance.
yeah, more recent
Okay,
performance.
got it. Yeah. Ed?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Honestly, I was still wishing that he was going to end up at Ferrari and have that pairing with Lewis Hamilton.
I think we all were wishing for that.
Yeah, we were all wishing for that. But you know what? I was going through the different interviews that he had, and Drew, just to add on to your point, he's looking for stability, but on top of everything else, I think because of the offer of being managing director and overseeing all technical, and being able to have his own say to that entire department, I think that was probably the last icing on the cake, or the last cherry on top. Because over in Red Bull, what's been happening the past year, even when Mercedes was dominating everyone, he had Dietrich Mateschitz, one of the guy that started the whole of Red Bull. And then when he passed away, and then all of the shit that happened, it was just I myself, if I was put in that situation and I'm the golden child or the golden ticket, I can go anywhere I want. And if I get what I want, and he's at that age now we're in, does he really want to roll up his sleeves even more? Or he wants to get that final send-off to look at this team, AMR, and bringing them up just the way he did when Red Bull started. So good move for Adrian Newey, cementing his legacy as one of the greats, if not the great signings when it comes to technical and not just an actual driver. So kudos to him, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I think just to kind of add on what you both said, money played definitely a huge role. I know he said he's not in for the money, but come on, everyone's in it for the money. So that was a motivating factor for him too, but at the same time, the freedom. At Red Bull, he was kind of losing that freedom to do what he wants and being in charge. And Aston Martin essentially said, come with us. Here's essentially a blank check and do what you want. Essentially just make us a winning race team. So I think that was the best offer that he got on the table. And what Ed said, he's looking for a new challenge. I think this is a perfect challenge for him. And, I kind of wish that as well he went to Ferrari. That would have been very interesting to see. But nonetheless, I'm glad he went to AMR and definitely not a next year thing. I don't think we're going to see huge results or huge success next year. but slowly, surely, it's going to happen, and maybe they're going to become as great as Red Bull was. So we'll see.
So I'm gonna put this out there, and I think I'm gonna call Adrian Newey this season's top free agent in F1.
Over Hammy?
Well,
Okay.
top free agent because Hammy wasn't really a free agent
No, he was Steve.
for a long time, right? He kind of it was under the radar, kind of signed, exercised his clause, and he was off the market. But that brings me to my question. That's a perfect segue. Everyone talks about Adrian Newey having massive impact on a team, how he can turn a team around. He makes championship teams. Looking into 2025, looking into 2026, what do you think that impact is going to be in the short term, those first 2 years? And the second part of that question is, who do you think is going to have a bigger impact on their team? Adrian Newey or Lewis Hamilton?
Quick answer is Adrian Newey. Because, you can put Lewis Hamilton into a dump truck, and I don't think it's going to really do too much. That being said, I don't think a Ferrari is a dump truck. And I think, with Lewis Hamilton coming to the team, Freddie Vasseur is going to do everything in his power to make sure that he has the best tools to win. It's going to be interesting to see what that looks like alongside someone like Charles Leclerc. But I think Adrian Newey has the technical prowess with the aero, with how to build a perfect car, and that is universal, regardless of who's in it. And you can have absolutely monkeys winning in that car. I just think that there's places that Newey can touch, and the only thing Lewis can touch is the fucking steering wheel, right? So I just think that there's limitations there. That being said, I don't think that the speed in which that needs to happen for someone like Aston Martin is going to be there as fast as they want it to be or need it to be. So I think, Lewis, who knows how long he's going to actually sit at Ferrari, but I think that Aston Martin's got a fighting chance. Who knows? And that's the thing too, because we're assuming that Fernando Alonso is going to stick around. If they don't produce the car, he's not going to stick around. He's going to retire. The guy's old as hell. But I think he's going to be wildly encouraged to not only stick around, but to drive fast because he's in a Newey produced car. I mean, that's the first time he's ever driven a Newey car. I'm sure it's going to be exciting for him. I'm sure I don't even know if Lance is going to be excited about his car because I don't know if he's going to know how to drive it. But I think someone like Fernando Alonso, he's going to get in there and absolutely run amok with that car, or at least push it to the limits and find out the best that car can do. But overall, I think that, to summarize that in a quicker point, I think Adrian Newey was definitely the pick over Lewis Hamilton if you want to turn a team around to 100.
Well, if it's to turn the team around, yes, 100% Adrian Newey. But in terms of effectiveness, setting up a quantifiable variable, if they were, say, to win or how they would progress Ferrari versus AMR in the next 2 years, I think it'll still be Lewis Hamilton because now you have platform that's constantly being developed. I mean, not saying that AMR is not going to develop the car. They have the wind tunnel, they have the facilities, they now have the most winningest designer and engineer. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to create that change night and day. There might be some learning curves, and on top of all of that, you have Lance Stroll, which is probably going to trash the car, put him at the wall every single time. So it's at this point, I mean, besides my bias against Lance Stroll, I think Lewis will come out first in terms of effective change to Ferrari as opposed to Newey. But come the rule changes or the new regulations, then Newey's gonna come out and I can foresee channeling. I can foresee that Fernando Alonso having a championship in the new regs, just like the way Lewis Hamilton came in to Mercedes in 2013, 2014, when the rules changed, started winning. We shall see.
So I think we're universally agreeing on this. Newey is gonna be the dominant force. I think he has more of overall hands-on design with the car. He touches the car a little bit more, but to Ed's point, Lewis is probably gonna make the faster impact at Ferrari just because he's driving, and we're hopefully probably gonna see the results pretty soon into the next year, into the new season. While Newey, it's gonna take a year or two to get up to speed to design a perfect car and really show us what it's got.
How fast do you think somebody from a foreign car can just jump into a new car and start performing in it at a high level? Like, do you think Lewis is going to start out qualifying Charles Leclerc that quickly?
Out qualifying, no. I think he's gonna, might take him like a race or two to get used to it.
You think it's gonna be that fast? It'll be a race or two?
I think it's gonna be a race or two. I think Lewis, with his legendary status and the driver he is, I think he's gonna give it all he's got. He's gonna want to impress that team. He's gonna want to.
He's been driving a Mercedes for a long time, man. It's been the same car for a long time. A car that's been built around him for a long time.
But
now he's getting into a car right away where that's not the case and hasn't been the case for the last decade.
True, but he's gonna want to prove himself and prove to the fans, and I think he's not gonna take his sweet ass time learning the car. He's like I said, a race or two, and then he's gonna give it all he's got. I truly see that, and I truly think
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
I hope you're right.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here a little bit, and I'm going to suggest that Newey isn't gonna have the type of impact that we think he is. So how many years was he with Red Bull?
From 2012, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. So what is it, 10, 12 years?
No more than that. 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
2006.
That's 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, almost 20 years?
Yeah.
How many championships has he won with them? 7?
Yeah,
6?
4 during Vettel's
Vettel?
reign, and then 3 with Max. So 7.
Okay, so there are a lot of years when he did not win a championship.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
There are a lot of cars that he designed that were not dominant and were not destroying the rest of the field.
Correct.
Right? So he's a piece of the puzzle, right? Just like Lewis Hamilton is a piece of the puzzle, just like everyone else is. And does he have a brilliant mind for aerodynamics? And is he a great designer and things like that? Sure. Has he? I mean, I think I read recently he's won 25 Constructors Championships or something like that over his career.
That's right.
It's amazing, right? But I don't think it's someone, and I don't think it's a position, and I don't think it's a sport where you automatically plug someone in and it's like instant success.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have a lot of brilliant designers at other teams, like Ferrari, who they just hire. Locic?
Fuck the final.
From Mercedes.
I forgot.
The Mercedes technical director, yeah. Earlier this week.
No,
Or late
now I
last
feel
week
like
they
I'm
announced
letting
it. Anyway,
I missed that news.
they bring on a technical director that, Hamilton is familiar with, right? You have all these, McLaren is obviously building like a strong, competent car. So I think Newey, I feel like the whole aura around Newey has really been like pumped up this year, right? And has really been, and not to take anything away from him, but just to be cautious about putting too much on him in terms of his impact immediately to turn a team like Aston Martin around.
Now, to Ed's point too, because he mentioned, what did you say, that he's more like technical management. Now,
That's
do you
right.
think he's too far removed from the car?
No, it's too far removed. But I think that's not his forte per se. I think one of his key skills is being able to skate around the rules, like being able to design on what the rules are and what the gray areas are. So, like, I believe that it's not more of like real hands-on, but more towards him giving the direction and then finding those little points where they can kind of like improve the car, improve the aero, improve the position of the suspension, and then like that's his input. With on top of all of that, like the facilities that was that Stroll, what's the name of the father? Lawrence Stroll? Yeah, Lawrence Stroll
Papa Stroll.
has like purchased for the team, for him, like gave him the silver platter. Now all he has to do is wave his wand, set up the magic, and then run with it, which I believe it could work. And it's worked in the past for different teams. So it could work, possibly, theoretically, work for AMR as well.
We've seen this in other sports as well, though. Like, once you can't just go buy a team. There has to be there's intangibles that happen in a team that sometimes
People have
the
to connect
underdogs,
essentially and everything. Yeah.
yeah, they just kind of when you hire too many rock stars, sometimes it doesn't produce a championship, right? And so I'm not to say that that's not going to happen, but they have done themselves a really big favor by keeping Lance Stroll on, because by having Lance Stroll on, you've almost guaranteed that you haven't hired too many champions.
How wild would it be if he started winning races?
That's what I was getting at. I was just kind of fuck, if he just starts winning, what are we going to say?
I'm going to eat my shoes. Literally,
you heard
gonna
that
eat
all
my
here.
shoes.
He's going to eat his shoes.
I'm going to eat my shoes. Like if he becomes a world champion in 2026,
He won't. He'll never happen as long as there's somebody else beside him.
but that's the point. That's the point.
As long as it's not a one-car team.
They're gonna bring on Nikita Mazepin, so just to make him look good.
My God.
To your point, Walker, I don't think he's gonna, like what you said, there's been X amount of years where he didn't win championships or whatnot. But back then he wasn't as experienced as he is now, right? He has so much more championships. Again, I don't think it's gonna happen the first maybe year or two, but I think he's gonna reach that stage way, way quicker. How
long do you think he has? The dude's old.
He's old.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think
75.
Is he 75?
He's 75 years old.
So that's the thing too, because we have to understand it. It's the same thing with Lewis at Ferrari. There's a timeline involved.
For
now,
sure.
I think Lewis has a little more runway than Newey, but Newey's not that far away, and I don't mean for retirement, but health issues are a real thing. That guy probably sneezes and shits himself.
He's 65.
65. That's a big gap.
I
That's
heard
a big
75.
I bet you did. Who? From a little
Channeling.
Oracle
Channeling.
buddy up there?
The worst fake Oracle on the podcast.
I swear it was on his resume.
Yeah, right.
You'll never know. I could actually be just trolling everyone.
Sorry.
But then to your point, he's not working on a team like Haas. He's working on Aston Martin. So I think a couple years for him to get up to speed, not up to speed, but to him actually produce a winning championship car. I think that's what it's going to take. So he has, money, backing, good drivers, one good driver, and decent team to begin with.
let's not. There is a residual effect of having someone like Adrian Newey on your team. There's a knowledge transfer that happens as well to other staff members and other designers and engineers that are up and coming that are going to take his place, right? So whether or not they win a championship, obviously that would work wonders for his legacy, right? But I think this sets up Aston Martin Racing potentially up for the next decade, right? Even if he's only with them for 3, 4, 5 years, right? The knowledge that they're going to gain and that experience with that kind of leadership, I think will could potentially make them a contender for years to come, even beyond his tenure there.
I think too that we're going to see that very quickly with what happens at Red Bull.
That's the other side of this.
If they drop off that very quickly, then we knew that Newey didn't pass on that knowledge. Newey kept that shit in his pocket and took it with him when he left. And the other part is that maybe Adrian Newey isn't as good as everyone thinks he is, right? We're also banking on the fact that Adrian Newey is enough of a difference maker on a team to do that. Because I'm not convinced yet. He's good, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of other factors, like you said, that come into play with this. And I just don't know if he gets bored or anything else happens and he's out, right? I don't know. I'm not convinced.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think the main catalyst of everything with AMR right now is Papa Stroll. He's the one that has been gathering all of the best talent.
He's assembling the A team.
Yeah.
He
is by far the guy. He's the recruiter for the entire organization of it. And the one thing that really hit me in another podcast called The Race, good friends of ours, and it's just
you fucking know them.
Friends of ours, yeah, they are. But one thing that I really see that what's going to happen is you have Papa Stroll that's pretty much putting everything all together, creating that perfect recipe for success, and then bringing in the final piece, which is Adrian Newey. And who knows? Maybe Max Verstappen might happen, may not happen. I don't know.
Why don't you ask
Channeling again.
Yeah. Why don't you call up all your boys on the race podcast and fucking see what they have to say about it?
No, but that's the thing though. That I think that there will be impact. I think it will not happen in 2025, but 2026. Watch out.
Now, does AMR take Newey and throw him at 2026 car, or do they let him?
No, 2026. He's not even going to touch the current.
That's what I'm
platform.
thinking too. I'm
Yeah.
with you on that 100%.
Well, I don't think he can he? Doesn't he have like a
No, he
clause
can
or
start
something?
working with them 2025, but
Yeah.
But by that point, development on that car is
It's done.
essentially done.
Essentially
Yeah,
done.
it's
That's
done
what
at
I
that
mean. So, like,
point.
why even bother having them? And then to just have the regs change anyway, just focus on all your energy on that.
Yeah.
So, like, is next year even going to be a difference?
No.
Might be a drop in the bucket.
Probably not.
no,
Yeah.
Probably not.
maybe very minor.
Because he can't still walk by a shit car and not point something out.
Yeah,
Like,
he
there's
will.
still gotta-
Which
yeah,
he will.
Which he will.
Yeah, but like the overall effect, like the halo effect of Adrian Newey will not happen or will not be prevalent up until 2026 till the new regs come in.
All right.
That's for sure.
So let's look at the other side of this Newey coin. We touched on it a little bit and talk about Red Bull because they are not looking too hot right now. Who knows? I mean, I'm not sure what the scenario was there. Obviously, he left earlier in the year. He wasn't getting the control or the consultation he wanted over the car. Maybe someone there thought he knew better. But Thomas, I'm kind of curious about your thoughts. What happens to Red Bull right now? And further to that, well, let's talk about their season afterwards. But like, where does Red Bull go from here? Because right now they seem to be in a bit of a shitstorm in terms of performance, in terms of leadership, management. Christian Horner's role, and then you have like the two ownership groups of Red Bull. It seems like a bit of a mess. Like, what's your take on it right now?
You know what? It's so hard to say within what happened in the last year alone with Red Bull. It's like you said, Walker. So it's such a mess. And with Adrian Newey leaving, with Max being unhappy, with Max's father also like putting some pressure on the team and kind of stirring the pot. Who knows what's gonna happen? I've been saying it for the past couple episodes now. It's not looking good. It's not looking like a hot team. They're falling apart. You could see the cracks forming, and it seems every race weekend we see more and more of those cracks forming. It's kind of confusing who's even in charge at this point. Just, what I mean by that is look at Checo. He's not performing, but he's still somehow on the team. What is he doing there? That's a whole nother level where you talk, we also talked, Mexican sponsorship money and all that stuff, but he's kind of dragging the team down. Something needs to change there. And whether that's Christian Horner needs to go, whether that's Helmut Marko, whether Max needs to go to a different team, Red Bull it's not performing. And I don't see them, getting back on that, podium anytime soon. Honestly, they're just keep on falling and falling, and I think they're going to keep falling. And when the new regs come in, I still think they're going to struggle before they, start peaking again.
Now, they've officially lost Adrian Newey. He still works for them, but he's gone. What was that other guy's name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That was like that.
Wheatley.
Jonathan Wheatley.
Yes.
Whatever the heck his name was. Wheatley. Yeah, Wheatley. He is still going to be there for the rest of the year. But like you see all these people, key people leaving, and now the team is starting to fall down. And I don't know if that's like a team morale thing or a synergy thing, or if these people, were that important that now that they've checked out of their jobs, they're like, party sucks, I'm out of here. And then that's like completely demoralizing, because then you got like Max taking the foot off the gas. Checo couldn't find the gas if he was looking for it. But then, like, I have to say, Christian Horner's been real quiet. Like, Christian Horner was like the man. And I don't know if that's because of like him getting handsy at the Christmas party earlier on in the year and all that shit going down, or, has like Red Bull kind of like taken the spotlight off of him, because, he did some things he maybe or should or shouldn't have done. But, you don't see him on camera and in interviews as much very often anymore. And
even on the radios, you don't hear
nothing.
Yeah,
Like he's kind of been checked out, right? And you've been hearing a lot more, GP and Max bantering back and forth, and you kind of see some cracks going on there with that relationship. more so than usual. They butt heads, but in a good way, right? But you're starting to see these things that are compounding. And it's not one or two. It's the fact that 5, 6, 7 of them happen, and then the performance drop, right? So you're seeing that kind of synergy fall apart. And I think that that if all these key people start to make some exits, that I don't think that we're going to see Red Bull at the top of the game next year, the rest of this year, and hopefully they throw a Hail Mary for 2026 because.
Well, you said morale, right? Like if the key people are leaving, morale is automatically dropping. So when you see your colleagues, your friends going to another team or just completely leaving the sport, yeah, it's going to affect you. It's going to fuck with your mind. It's going to fuck with your work. You know, it's going to affect the way you drive. So that's a huge part. I definitely think, you know, that plays a significant part.
So
you give a big favor. But yeah. Can you wear those fucking sunglasses and they're not on your forehead?
I was just looking at them. I was like,
just fucking put them. Yeah. Just rock it, bro. Own it. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
Yeah, I'm in.
There you go, brother.
That's it. Oh yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Freedom ain't free. America. Hell yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna pose a question to each of you. Shitstorm going on at Red Bull. No one really knows what's going on. Is it time for Christian to step down, or is it time forget step down? Is it time for them to make a change? Does he still have the confidence of that team? Is he still the leader that team needs right now? Fucking Hulk.
You know what? I used to like Christian Horner as a team principal. I thought he was kind of badass. And
it took you a second. Huh?
What's so funny?
Continue, man. No, nothing.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought, you know, he was a badass. He had his moments, you know, like tough guy, and then he showed some emotion, which I really liked him. But do I think he should step down? Is there a change that needs to be made in Red Bull? For sure. There has to be a new power play that comes in and into his position and kind of takes over and tries a different approach, because what Christian has been doing, what Red Bull haven't been doing, it's not working.
All right, thank you. It's just hard to take you seriously.
I know that's why. I can't even.
It's amazing. Yeah, you say it with such a straight face.
I know.
All right.
See, to him,
I try.
That's dedication right there.
Everything else is the same. Yeah, you didn't break character for a second.
The dedication that Red Bull needs right now.
Oh,
and that segue
Right.
is brought to you by my Lithuanian friend right here, the dirty uncle. All right. So for me, like, I think it would be the latter of him not leaving, but holding everyone accountable now. Like, whoever is still there, yes, the pillars, the strong pillars of Red Bull, those Adrian Newey, and then Wheatley, and then the rest of the other engineers as well. Like, the boat is sinking at this point. So he needs to take reins or needs to leave. But from the way I'm seeing it, he's not in front of the cameras. He is probably working behind the scenes right now, trying to patch up all the holes. And who knows? We'll see what the rest of the season pans out for the team. But if he doesn't change anything, it's probably going to be either he'll get the boot from the entire organization. And it's no more butting heads with Toto Wolff and telling Toto Wolff to change the fucking car. Yeah, I picked that up when you were saying that earlier. So I believe that he's still the team manager, the head honcho for Red Bull. But if he doesn't pull everyone together and become harmonious, they're done.
You know what? I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't think Red Bull is going to let him go.
Change his mind. Did I change your mind?
No, you didn't. I just think he's too much of a strong presence in the Red Bull garage for Red Bull actually to say you're done. They might do a switch as take him away from the team principal position, but I don't think they're going to let him go fully like that.
I don't think that Red Bull knows what to do without him. I think that Red Bull has been built around him and with his control, so they don't know how to act or behave or think without him. And unfortunately, I think the reality is that people at Red Bull have started to lose respect for him. Newey didn't want anything to do with him after he got handsy at the Christmas party. And then Jos Verstappen's been kind of like belittling him a little bit in terms of like pushing him around. Max has lost respect for him. You can hear those in the interviews and things like that. Obviously, he's sticking up for Checo, which is like the only person that still likes him at this point is Checo. But when you start to see that from the top down, other people in the garage feel that. And so I think that, there might be some things that you can't come back from. And I don't know what happened at whatever with that, executive assistant that he got a little handsy with, whatever that case may be. There might just be people who've lost respect for him. The other thing is too, is that the reality is they've been on top for a long time, right? Like for a few years, like they've definitely had this last little run here. There's only fucking one place to go from the top, right? And so like eventually there's a fall. You can't win forever. The Yankees lost. The Patriots lost. The Leafs can never win.
Don't start.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's dynasties have to come and go, right? And so is this just the end of a dynasty? Yeah, for sure. And like, has Christian Horner had a great run while it happened? 100%. But like,
okay, so let's pick up from there because we're making a lot of sweeping assumptions there. All right,
a ton of
a lot.
All right,
yeah.
I mean, my whole thing with the Horner thing is, I'm curious how well liked he is within the team. That's my question.
I kind of like the guy.
I like him too.
Yeah, what he did at Christmas party, man, that's up to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's the same thing. Like, did Michael Jackson do what the fuck he did? I don't know, but he made Thriller. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Thriller.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So
that gives him like 4 boys max.
We went there. Okay.
Yeah. So like
5 is too much.
And I'm not giving Christian Horner a pass. It's whatever. But like ultimately, good is he? I don't know.
Well,
it's just the best they've ever had.
It was just, but it was more like how liked is he within the team? Like, is he just like that guy that's been there so long that he's just going to continue to be there because he's cemented his self there and because he's built a system around him to support him versus the team, like I'm talking about like the mechanics and like the engineers and the people back at the factory. Like, do they really like rally around him and want him to be their leader or not? I don't know. But
From the
that'd be the
outside
question.
optics, I think he looks or seems like a well-liked guy. I would think so.
Yeah.
I kind of like the guy. If I was in the garage, I'd probably, handshake, high five.
From what happened, like I said recently, I don't think he's well liked. Just what's going on for the past year. I think that changed. I think before that, yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was well liked. I could see, people trying to be friends with him, getting his connections and everything. But after what happened, I don't get that vibe. I don't know why.
Because him and Adrian Newey, like, have you guys read Adrian Newey's book?
No.
You guys read that?
No, I haven't. Unfortunately.
Worst F1 fans ever. Anyways, it's a fantastic book. Christian Horner and Adrian Newey are like boys. Like boys. Like they've been boys for a minute. And you see that relationship that they have, like high school friends. You know what I mean? Like they're obviously not high school friends, but like and then when you see someone like Adrian Newey be like, listen, I don't want anything to do with you while all this controversy is going on. That says something. That to me exemplifies something. And like, I don't think that bridge ever got rebuilt after they bounced or after that all that stuff happened. And that's why I think Adrian Newey bounced, because he's like, why
associate yourself with this bad press? Essentially, yeah.
That's it. And like, if Adrian Newey feels like that, I can
there's
imagine
definitely other people within the team that feel that way too. Yes,
that just don't have the camera on them. You know what I mean? Like Adrian's got the camera on him a lot, so like that's why we're like, oh, he's not. But there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of other people involved with Red Bull Racing that have no interest in Christian Horner anymore. You know what I mean? They just don't get the same press, right?
So, all right. So talking about Red Bull's demise, let's move on to Baku. We got Baku coming up next week. Fun race, or this week, I guess, it's coming up. It's a fun race, a great track. Really quickly, like, what are these predictions? What are your predictions coming into this weekend looking like? Thomas?
Norris, Verstappen.
Right to it. All right.
Norris, Verstappen, and Charles. That's what I think.
Do you think anything else, or
you know what? I'm getting to that, Drew.
Okay.
I just lost my point. So whoever,
I can take over. Norris, Piastri, Leclerc. Verstappen, Red Bull is not gonna perform here because if they didn't perform in Monza, very similar in terms of like layouts and the amount of speed that they can actually get from Baku. They're not going to do it. They're not even. Verstappen's probably going to be in the points. Probably not Checo. So
You don't think Checo's going to be in the points?
no.
He loves street circuits. This is his little fucking ditty.
Yeah, but with a crappy car, not going to happen.
With crappy driving style, I should say.
His
He's
style is-
not performing. Come on.
Well, okay, fine. I'll give you that. But
We've all been there, buddy.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
So you've got 2 McLarens and a Ferrari.
yes,
Excellent.
He has to stay strong on McLaren. He has no
True.
choice at this
Yeah,
point, whether he
exactly.
likes it or not. There's gonna be 3 different people on the podium. I'm going with.
Oh, really? Wow.
You don't say.
You heard it.
I didn't catch what.
Thank you, Walker, for getting with the boys.
I was going to let it slide, but Walker called it out. I'm sorry.
There will be
Yes.
3 different teams on the podium.
All right.
There you go.
We're gonna get Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren. I don't think Red Bull's gonna make it.
Thank you.
I also think that George is going to be the Mercedes on the podium. I think George has a lot to prove after what
Coming
happened last
from a
week.
Lewis Hamilton fanboy goes with George.
Yeah.
What?
What does George have to prove?
That absolutely shitting the bed in the first or second corner or whatever the hell happened in Monza was an absolute disaster. He went in, he qualified third place.
Would you? I know, but so to you, that's he shit the bed in Monza.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just here. I'm just.
Does anyone disagree?
I'm waiting for the ball to drop with what Walker's about to say.
Yeah,
No,
me too.
I'm just.
waiting for it.
I just feel like that's a bit of a harsh assessment. You getting tired?
You think
You
no?
getting
I think 7th.
I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Don't worry.
7th. It's 9 a.m. By the way, you asshole. Yeah, what was it? 7th, 8th place?
Yeah, no, they're 7th and 8th. Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Okay.
what are we discussing?
It just
That's
felt like
not
a har-
good.
It
when you
just
start
felt
on
like
the
a
second
harsh
row.
statement. That's all.
Is this what it's like to be Thomas?
All right. I didn't mean to be so. It wasn't supposed to be so confrontational.
I think that Red Bull's gonna be able to pull it off. I think Checo's gonna bin it. Also, is Baku not like the sickest race on the planet? I think that any time that you race through like an UNESCO heritage site with fucking castles, like real castles, and you're like, not drive around them, let's go through them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty sick
I think
circuit.
it looks legit. Yeah.
You guys are forgetting that they always crash. There will always be a safety car in Baku because of the way the track layout. There are a lot of corners that are just like hidden, and you cannot see the apex. So you have to fully commit. If you don't fully commit, you're gonna be slow. So expect a lot of drama for this race.
So, Mr. Oracle, when are we going to see the safety car? When are we going to see the crash or incident?
It's very hazy right now. I can probably add that in the socials or in the Discord, which, by the way, you guys should join because I might make my prediction there.
Well, you hold it. You're not predicting now.
Come on, Mr.
As I
August.
said, it's very hazy. The clouds are very thick.
Yeah, I predicted there's gonna be a safety car. It's gonna involve one of 20 cars. Yes, it's coming to me now. Let me.
In one of the X laps.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The
One of the
most
laps.
basic shit.
All right. I think there are a lot of storylines happening right now. You have obviously, which we touched on a lot. You know, Red Bull trying to like find their legs and see if they can put anything together. You have McLaren, which have not been great strategically. They have fast cars, but they haven't been able to really put it together very well the last few races, consistently at least. And you have Ferrari that are just like the little engine that could, just like chugging along, just like there, right? And Leclerc's has some really strong races, so I'm actually looking forward to another strong race from Charles. I think he could potentially surprise some people again. You have the Constructors Championship, really, really close right now, 39 points separating everybody. You have the Drivers' Championship, really, really close. There's lots at stake this weekend, lots of storylines. with a fun track where shit's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really fun weekend of racing. And yeah, I'm
Predictions.
for all of it.
How about your predictions?
Sure. Charles. I'm just going to go straight. Charles, Oscar, Lewis.
Ferrari
Okay,
first,
Ferrari,
really?
yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
brave.
I'm just gonna roll with it.
I
feel
love
like
it.
we've got
I
some
love it.
momentum.
I love the conviction.
So, anything else we want to touch on before we move on? One more thing we have to do before we finish up here.
Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Thomas, you ready? You can't hide from it. Not even with those glasses.
You'll never know. He might.
You gotta pull them down a little. You gotta pull them down a little.
Is there a cheat sheet behind there? Just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
box.
Oh,
No?
we essentially covered it.
We talked about the
Yeah,
box
we did,
box
we
box.
did.
It was,
Okay, we did.
it was the Adrian Newey thing. It was all.
Thank you, by the way. Was it?
Here we are. We're gonna play. Name that sponsor.
Name that sponsor.
That's it.
That's
just
it.
one.
Just
Wow.
getting a short version today.
All right. Name that sponsor. Really easy game. I'm going to tell you name a sponsor on a Formula One car. You got to tell me which car they are on and what they do. I can see here Ed dialing in with the spirits.
I'm trying
Getting
to go through the clouds right
The
now.
haziness.
Yeah, the haziness.
I'm going to recap the points.
Please don't.
Have to. So right now, Drew is in the lead with 14 points.
Just saying.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Ed is in a distant second with 7.
Ooh.
Thomas, not
Even
far
more
behind.
distant.
Well, distant from, yeah, but not far behind Ed, actually. So, I mean, we shit on Thomas a lot, but Ed, you are not necessarily like doing much
In the
better.
Yeah, I'm not
either.
better. Yeah.
Thomas is with 5 points, and then Chris, who we like to mention, who was on the show once as a guest, has 4 points. So,
Just
shout
to
out
set
to
that
Chris.
baseline there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. You've been on for 13 episodes. How many? 20 episodes this season? He's been on 1, and we're at the same. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Anyways,
Put in context.
okay, so first up is ZCG. ZCG.
I'm gonna say Aston Martin for a car, and I'm gonna say like CNC Machining Company.
Changing it up.
I know. I
Very
like it.
interesting.
Yeah, I did
All
like
right.
it. And it was confident and quick. Gets me kind of hard. Good for you.
ZCG.
ZCG,
Okay.
ZCG,
Okay.
however you want to pronounce it.
The GG.
I
Just-
would
just-
say Alpine. They are a financial hedge fund.
Haas Racing, and I'm gonna say
Logistics.
he's gonna say logistics. I'm gonna give you guys a pass and just say they're a weapons manufacturer.
Weapons manufacturer.
wow.
Wow. Okay.
So
I know that it's
creative.
not true, but
So creative. So they are on Ferrari,
no
Okay.
points.
and ZCG is a leading privately held merchant bank comprised of private market asset management, business consulting services, technology development, and solutions. I think Ed, I think
was
he
a
gets a full
point.
point. I'm
Okay.
gonna give him a full point.
Yeah.
Taps out.
Yeah.
I'll give a point on that one. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
actually well done.
Yeah.
All
That
right,
one. Yes.
That's big, dude.
that's huge.
Yeah, that's big.
Okay, number 2, second sponsor is ServiceNow. ServiceNow.
I am gonna go with McLaren, and I'm gonna go with accounting firm, financial accounting.
Ferrari, and they are a SaaS company that does a lot of ticketing services and helps with project management.
All right.
They are on Red Bull, and they are a payroll company.
ServiceNow. I really like the variety of answers.
Yeah.
It's really good. You guys have
Yeah.
really stepped it up.
Yeah, we are. We are.
I think you're all wrong.
We're all way off.
ServiceNow is an American software company based in Santa Clara that develops a cloud computing platform to help companies manage digital workflows for enterprise operations. Digital workflows.
I was right. That's project management.
That's
I
very
worked with them
broad.
before. That's what they did for us. ServiceNow. Not kidding.
Yeah, you legit. I feel like
Give him the fucking point.
I think we have to give them a point.
You can give him 3 points today.
And
Still
they-
won't be anywhere close. I am purposefully just taking the L's.
Okay,
Oh, okay, Mr. Purposely.
And they
we'll
are.
take the opportunity.
I said weapons manufacturing. They're not even allowed to sponsor Formula One.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. Oh,
Aston Martin. Aston Martin. You should call up your boys, Ed, and see if you can get some tickets.
yeah, but I don't like Stroll.
Yeah, but you like Alonso,
True.
and you like Formula One,
That's all.
and you like free shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, last one. Thomas, please, buddy,
I'm trying.
you gotta get
Go for it. Go for it.
Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin-Williams, like pharmaceutical
No.
company.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I didn't get the
You already got that one wrong. But continue.
Haas.
1
Yeah,
in 10
that's
chance. All right. Okay.
Um,
Don't fuck this up.
Alpine Logistics Company.
Are you really?
I'm glad we're on the same fucking page here.
Shipping and logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We're gonna start right now. Sherwin-Williams makes fucking paint.
They probably inspired the color of that shirt.
They make paint. It's,
Yeah. Imagine
did you guys not know? You laughed because I thought you knew the answer.
No, I don't.
Sherwin-Williams.
that. You said no so confidently.
Yeah, you were like,
no.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Idiot.
Oh, yeah. Sherwin-Williams makes paint.
Did you throw that one? Who are they actually on?
Mercedes.
I'm giving you 2 points
Yeah. Okay.
because you can't throw it
Why not?
because
can't
it's not
throw
I
it.
couldn't throw the paint because I would look ridiculous. If
It's not on your brand. You need to.
Can't
own that.
believe only one person got Sherwin-Williams. Shocking.
I'm actually a little embarrassed.
I
for
have an
the-
excuse.
this
I'm
half of the
ESL,
room.
okay?
You're ESL?
ESL. I wasn't born in Canada, so
You don't have to be born
Neither
in
was Sherwin or Williams. Sherwin.
I know is Bear.
Okay. It's,
Bear paints. That's
and
it.
think of Bear.
Yeah.
It's equally as big.
Bigger.
They actually have their own
Hell
stores.
not, because we don't know.
They have stores.
Yeah.
They should sponsor us.
like they sponsor like a global sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
Anyways, all right. Well, that was disappointing. I really tried to help you out there, buddy. Really
Didn't work.
did not work.
No.
Do we have one more?
No,
No,
that's
that's
it.
Okay.
That's it. Let's recap it. Drew 16. Ed, you
Eight.
made some headway,
That's some
buddy.
big head-
You made some 9. Thomas, holding strong, buddy. Just holding down that 5.
By the end of the
5.
season, I'm gonna get an extra point. I'm gonna finish at 6 or more.
P3. P3.
How many more races do we have?
P3.
8?
7,
Yeah.
8.
I should have chosen like fucking Tommy Bahamas or something like that.
I think with all these
Those-
colors, that Sherwin-Williams would have been a fucking hit. He would have been all about the colors. That's okay. Next
That's
time.
all good.
Next time.
Before we sign off,
Yeah.
please follow us, like, subscribe, share, do all that
Are
stuff.
you begging?
Yes, at
That's
this
how-
point, you know what? Maybe we are.
yeah.
We have a really poppin' Discord channel, so if you like Formula One, jump into the Discord channel. The link will be in the show notes. Follow us on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're pretty much
YouTube.
everywhere. Well, YouTube's popping. So if you're not there, you're crazy.
That sounds like this is a very desperate sign off. We're doing so well.
You can cut that one and redo it. Then you
No,
go,
no,
you
carry
go.
on. No, we're gonna keep
no,
this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's awkward.
Well, okay. Like we need you, so please
Without
come.
you guys, this wouldn't even be possible.
Which is not true because it has been possible and there's been like nobody. So for those of you that are there, thank you.
And listening. Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be more of you. And this is a really sad way to end it, but we're just gonna roll with it and say thank you very much. See you next week. We're gonna recap Baku. Don't
And
forget to
hopefully
keep
score
back.
some points.
Thomas is gonna do some research.
Yeah. We said that like what 4 or 5 weeks ago. You're allowed to cheat.
You didn't say that.
I did.
But you know what? I want to
You did say
hold
that.
true to the original rules.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Well, then don't study.
That's
Whatever you
fine. All right. Longest outro ever. Peace out. Thank you for watching. This has been F1 True North, the Canadian Formula One podcast. Peace.